Okay, we're in Ephesians chapter 4. Now, I already kind of taught on this a little bit in the last segment, but I want to just touch on this again. We're not going to get through this whole, some of these verses I may take a couple times on because I'm looking at different words. But Paul said basically in verse 1, he said, I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you to walk worthy of the calling with which you were called. Now, he said walk worthy, walk in a manner. That word walk literally means, in the Greek, it means to walk as proof of ability. Basically, start walking this thing out. Start walking out in the calling of God as a proof of the ability that's on your life. Now, what's really interesting about that is when you see God has called you. And if you remember, back in Ephesians chapter 1, do you remember when, if you didn't see it, you can go into our YouTube channel, or you can you can go into the YouTube channel and see every single verse that I've taught out of Ephesians, because I've been teaching on every verse. But Paul was praying that the eyes of our heart would be enlightened, that we would know what the hope of his calling is. Now, God wants you to know what you're called to do. Is he going to reveal your whole lifelong call all at once? No. And that confirms that right here in verse 1, because it says that you walk worthy of the calling. Now, that word walk, when you walk, what do? You take steps. You don't take your fifth step until you've taken your first, your second, your third, and your fourth step. Walking is steps. And that's the way the call of God works. There's going to be steps when God has called you. There's steps of preparation. There's steps of getting ready. There are steps in literally submitting under people in ministry and learning how to flow in others, learning how to flow in the hierarchy of the leadership structure in the church, learning how to flow and move with others, learning how to yield to the Spirit of God, and there are steps involved. You fulfilling your call is tied to steps being fulfilled. And you need to begin to walk. That's what this whole thing is. Your calling of God is something that you will be walking out till the day Jesus comes back and receives his church. That's pretty exciting. That just shows you there is going to be a new step for you. You're never going to be on the same old step. There's always going to be a new step. There's always going to be a new thing. You're always going to come to a new place. There's always going to be a new breakthrough. There's always going to be, and every step is going to be nothing but better.